Hello, my dear friends. My name is Sarita. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Guess what came in the mail this afternoon? And I just unboxed a huge haul from Bath & Body Works for their fall line, their fall offerings. Bath & Body Works ran a sale, I want to say like a week and a half ago, and it wasn't a great sale. It was like 50%, 60%, something like that off of the candles, which made them like, I don't know, $15, $16. I had a 20% off coupon, dropped it down to $12, $13, which is still not great. But they had just dropped all of their fall candles that they were going to offer here at the beginning of July. And I thought, well, why not? I fully intended to return or exchange the ones that I didn't like. Spoiler alert, that's quite a few of them. And I just was curious. I am a very seasonal burner, so even if I loved all of these, I would probably not be burning them right now. I know there are so many channels that are hyping up for fall, giving you fall candles. You're not gonna get that at this channel. I really like to burn the summer candles straight through August. If August isn't a summer month, frankly, I don't know what is. And fall will keep. There will be lots of time for fall. My little bone that I can throw all of you, though, is a first impressions haul, and I was happy to do that. So, and since they were sending them to me, I just bought a ton. I think it was like 12, something like that. I don't even know where to begin. All of these were, at least I thought they were, fairly new to me. A couple of them are brand new. Many of them, though, are either re-releases from last year or releases from various other years prior to that that I just wasn't sure that I had smelled yet. So without further ado, let's start out with the Naturals line. And I'm going to start out with Apple and Charcoal because it's staring at me right now. Here's Apple and Charcoal. I know that I've talked so much about how much I love the aesthetic of this natural line, but I need to say it again. I did notice, by the way, that they had various of the natural fall candles out that I purchased last year and would certainly repurchase again, just did not do so in this haul. So the very successful spiced pumpkin and patchouli, I think is what it's called. Spiced pumpkin and patchouli, I will definitely be repurchasing that. That was a big success from last year, and they've definitely brought it back. For the most part, it looks the same. They just have like a different label. So as before, I think the label was like black, and now they're all standardized this kind of like taupe color. So that is back. Coffee and Whiskey is back, and very wisely, super savvy, they have created a moment for Coffee and Whiskey. Actually, they just sent me a mailer. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I got my mailer out. Got this in the mail, you know, the various coupons. Look at this. They are making it a moment with the Coffee and Whiskey. Can you guys see that? Coffee and Whiskey. So they are rolling it out as a body care situation. I see a body cream, a shower gel, cologne mist, a single one wick, and a foaming, whatever it is, hand wash. Very smart, because Coffee and Whiskey was nothing, it didn't have coffee or whiskey in it. And it was, if I remember correctly, like a beautiful sandalwood amber, like with a little bit of a smokiness, a little bit of masculine intrigue, which makes it very versatile. I'm not at all surprised that they're going big with it this year. So look for that in your stores. Coffee and Whiskey was great. I'd repurchase that again, but definitely the spiced pumpkin and patchouli was a standout. Okay. Apple and Charcoal. I think this was out last year. Was it? Or maybe it was Applewood is what I'm thinking. So this is a pretty basic apple, but it's a nice one. It really pops. You're getting a lot of the apple skin. There's a lot of apple skin as well as apple juice and flesh, which is giving it like a very fresh and authentic kind of smell. And there is, ooh, just in the background, a little bit of something that is musky, deep, possibly woody. I don't know that it goes full-blown smoke or charcoal, when I was kind of hoping that it would. I would say definitely consider this to be more of a really nice apple, with possibly a little something else that I hope comes across when burned. It's a little bit more basic than the charcoal would suggest or promise, which I don't love, but the scent itself is so apple forward in a very unvarnished kind of way. I would definitely burn this for September. I will probably hold on to this one. All right, here's another, and I think this one might be new, Cypress and Cedarwood. Not to be confused with, I think it was Cypress and Amber, or Amber and Cedarwood. It was Amber in one of them, and it was in this kind of like dark hunter green. Naturals last year. This is not the same. For a minute I thought it was the same. Okay, so Cypress and Cedarwood. The notes on this is fresh cypress, mineral sea salt, and cedarwood. Such a weird scent. So I almost want to hang on to this, and I almost want to burn it now because I think you can. There's nothing about this that immediately feels fall even, let alone holiday at all, or Christmas. So this is actually a very soapy scent. It comes across as a, yeah, it's almost like a little bit of an aquatic soap kind of smell. And it's the aquatic, that must be what they're trying to attribute to sea salt. But really it just kind of is like almost sunscreen, like, yeah. And then it does have some tree in it. But to be honest, because of the soapiness of this, it kind of goes a little pine sol for me personally. Pine sol combined with some sunscreen. And on top of it, it's kind of like generic, and it's just very Bath & Body Works generic with the like sunscreen and the soapiness. And really the tree note there is just kind of adding a little something. It's like it's like the fragrance of the soap, but it's not a very bright or forward tree scent. And unfortunately, like I said, for me it goes in a pine sol direction. You could definitely burn it now if you wanted to, because of the aquatic nature of it and the soapy nature of it. It feels, frankly, a little bit more summer to me. But I don't think I'm going to keep it. That's a no bueno for me personally. All right, here's another naturals. This one is Blue Jasmine and Currant. Gosh, I was really hoping for this one because I do like currants a great deal. I was hoping for a very like intriguing, deep, dark fruit kind of fall vibe. And look at that beautiful like slate color. I mean, again, it looks fantastic. It looks austere. It looks sophisticated. And then you smell it and you're like, oh, it is not any of those. It's literally the opposite of austere, herbal, deep. This is like, I mean, the minute I opened it, I was just like, okay, so this is definitely a repackage of something. It's a very generic bubblegum forward, fruity tooty Bath and Body Works body care kind of smell. Whew, man. Yeah, it's a lot of sugar. It's a lot of sugar, and it's like a fruity pop, and it's perfume. And when I did a little bit of research, i.e. basically just watched Kent from the Candle Channel, because he knows all things Bath & Body Works, he said that this is 1,000 wishes. I believe it. I smelled 1,000 Wishes in the store a few weeks ago. It wasn't for me. It was almost for me, but it kind of wasn't at the same time. I mean, it's just as generic as Bath & Body Works gets. There are people that love 1,000 Wishes. If you love 1,000 Wishes, pick this up because it's 1,000 Wishes. But it's just not branded correctly. I mean, if you think about the packaging for 1,000 Wishes, I mean, this couldn't be farther from it. And I just can't imagine that people like myself who gravitate toward this aesthetics and this vibe are gonna get on board with like the sugar kaleidoscope that is 1,000 Wishes. It just seems like a real missing of the mark there. That one's definitely going back. Okay, and last but not least, here's our next naturals, which is salted amber and vetiver. And vetiver is a real funky herb, so I was expecting that. It's another beautiful like color here. So the notes here are salted amber, fresh orange flower, and rich vetiver. I was expecting something deep, and it is not that either. It is the opposite of that, but it's positive. I really like this. I'm going to keep it. It is definitely sweet, much sweeter than you would expect from a vetiver candle. And in fact, I'm not getting a whole lot that's very herby. And there's maybe some amber. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but I like it. There is a tiny bit of an herbal note, but it's not the herb that is vetiver. I'm gonna have to think on this one as to what it is that I'm smelling. But it is a beautiful, like, early spring or late summer kind of candle, which is kind of maybe what they were going for with the salted nature of it, and then the kind of aquatic looking jar. Yeah, this is like Sailing Day or something like that. So if you think along the lines of Sailing Day, is there something aquatic in it? Maybe, but I would say kind of ozone-y more than anything else. And I think it says orange flower. I mean, maybe. There might be a little bit of floral here. But I'm actually getting a little bit of a... Yeah, it is a little bit of a flower. I would say more green than floral. There's a real green note to it, like as in stems and leaves, and then some like ozone, and something that is almost reminiscent of sunscreen. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, but I don't know what they're talking about with vetiver, orange flower, and amber, because I really don't think it smells that way. Oh, one last. Leather and Brandy. Leather and Brandy was out last year, and I know I smelled it, and I did not buy it, and I should have remembered that and trusted myself from last year. Oh, what to say about Leather and Brandy? The notes here are warm leather, amber woods, and brandy. There's nothing boozy about this. There's nothing leather about it. There's really nothing even woodsy about it. There is something a little bit men's cologne-y about it in kind of a generic way. To be honest, this one is a little bit similar to this one, but in that this one is green and botanical and fresh and unexpected. This one just goes kind of in a very generic way. It's not a heavy men's cologne, and it's not an unpleasant one, but it's a men's cologne. Honestly, I think I'm gonna take this one back, but I will keep, obviously, salted, whatever it is. All right, let's go to Patchouli and Rosewood. Looks like this. I don't mind the packaging. It's fine. The label is a little bit blah and cheap looking. The rest of it is okay. And it's got this like hammered copper situation. Rosewood and Patchouli did come out in like a test store, I think a few years back. But this is the first time it's come out kind of in a mainline way. Woo! So that's intense. You gotta love rose to really like this candle, because it is a lot of rose. It is tempered by some wood. There is a woodiness to it. I wouldn't say that it's wood forward, but it's wood grounded. Does it have patchouli? It might. I mean, patchouli would make sense in this kind of a fragrance. It's a very, frankly, it's a very heavy rose perfume. Not an unpleasant one, because I can imagine how a heavy rose perfume would go unpleasant very fast. And I considered keeping this one. I'm still really on the fence with it. Because I just feel like it's going to be too much. I'm not a huge rose fan. Like, I think that you have to have a light touch with rose. You have to have a light touch with patchouli. It's very ballsy of them to have put them both in a fragrance. And man, you lift the lid off and it is not something that you can avoid, evade. It is not soft. It is not shrinking. It reminds me a lot. Yes, I did. I brought this one. Do you guys remember this from earlier, Sunset Desert? It's this vibe, but this has a lot more going on in it, frankly, and doesn't have that strong rose element. So consider Sunset Desert, only they've mixed like a very powerful, powdery rose and rose water with it. And it's just a lot. It does remind me a lot of the candle. It was like rose and leather or something like that. I did not pick it up. I think this is better than the rose and leather one, whatever that was, which was just, gosh, I almost want to keep it. Patchouli flowers, pink pepper, exotic rose wood. Yeah, I would say it's very similar to Sunset Desert, but it's very rosy. So make sure that you like those kinds of things. All right, so then let's go. Actually, I have one more in that particular collection, which is Blue Lavender Breeze. Blue Lavender Breeze. Again, this is one that I opened up and I'm like, so this is a repackage of something, but I'm sorry, I don't know Bath & Body Works well enough to tell you what the repackage is of it. As with Salted Amber and Vetiver, this is a very like kind of beachy aquatic scent. Yeah, I actually kind of like it. I think it's pleasant. If you're into those kinds of beachy aquatics, I think you're gonna really like it. I'm really just kind of getting a whole lot of like sea salt, some sort of floral element, but I wouldn't necessarily pick it out as lavender. And a little bit of coconut, as in coconut water, but just a little bit. Here it says wild lavender, creamy sandalwood. Oh, sandalwood maybe. And a splash of coconut milk. But again, this has that kind of bright, almost citrusy top note that goes a little bit sunscreen, but in a very nice way. The coconut really does keep it grounded. I was going to return this one, but honestly, I do kind of like it. I don't know that it's really my wheelhouse. I'm on the fence with it. All right, then let's go to this collection. I've got two from this. This is Fall Farmhouse, and it's been around for a while, but for some reason I wasn't sure if I had smelled it or remember what it smelled like. So the packaging on this is not bad. I actually kind of like it. But once again, I think that the label really kind of like brings it down. Kind of tacky. I don't know. I think that if they rethought the label, it would go a long way toward recommending this aesthetic. Ooh, okay, so it's a lot of roastedness. It's got some spice to it. It's kind of a generic fall candle. What do they say about notes? Spice, pine, and fall air. Spiced pumpkin, yeah, I could see that. There's a real roasted and spiced something. And pumpkin's actually a very, it's kind of like tofu. Pumpkin is not particularly pronounced in terms of its flavor. Forest, pine branch, and fresh fall air. Yeah, it's not bad. It does have tree, and it does have something a little bit vaguely ozony. It's like they combined like a lot of different things that you just associate with fall. I don't know that it goes together very cohesively, and I don't know that I'll keep it, but I can understand why it's in their collection, etc. Here's another from that collection, which is Cranberry Woods, also been around for a while. Looks like this. Again, I don't mind the packaging, but the label is not great. Cranberry, cinnamon, and cedar. This says tart cranberry, cinnamon bark, cedar, golden amber. I was a little worried about the cinnamon bark because I do not love it when it goes like red hot cinnamon, but I was hoping that the cedar, the amber, and the cranberry, gosh, I really like those dark fruits. So then I smelled it and I was like, ugh, no. I mean, this is just a very artificial and synthetic, bright berry note. It's like, it just smells like a cheap cranberry oil. Like there's nothing fresh about it at all. And whatever other elements are in it, they're just pretty muted. All that's coming across, unfortunately, very strongly is that like candied synthetic cranberry note. That's going back for sure. I was really hoping for more, and I think I heard from somebody that this Cranberry Woods used to be quite good like 10 years ago and has gone through various different iterations and is now quite bad. So there's that. This was one that I got from last year. It was on clearance, Mahogany Balsam, and Mahogany Balsam was like $5. So I went with it. I kind of winced a little bit when I saw mahogany because I was like, oh, that's gonna be bad. Anything with mahogany in it at Bath and Body Works is like, oh, is that gonna be mahogany teakwood plus a little something? Mahogany teakwood is its own thing. Yes, this does have that mahogany note in it, but I'm very happy to say that the balsam is besting it. So the balsam to me smells like about 60 to 70% of the fragrance, and the mahogany teakwood or whatever else is that like 25-30%. And that's about the percentages that you would want there. That's the ratio. And I like it. It kind of smells like it's not going to have that great of a throw, but for $5, I'll take it. I'll burn it. You know, it's one of those like tree fragrances that you could burn in the November period that does smell like a little bit of a Christmas tree, but because of that mahogany, it's keeping it just this side of Christmas holiday season. The very last two that I have here, I kind of like, and I'm definitely going to keep. Freshly brewed coffee, which looks like this. There's been a lot said about this particular aesthetic. The lid is kind of nice though. See that? I'm not a fan, but I could imagine worse. We'll just put it that way. I've noticed, I call this, everybody's talking about this being like some sort of Vera Bradley thing because of the paisley inspiration, which I can kind of see. But you know what this reminds me of? Yankee Candle and their like clip art situation, which I've been quite vocal about. I said once on Facebook in a group, like, Yankee Candle needs to step it up. Like, what is with the clip art situation on their jars? It's so tacky and cheap looking. And what I actually said was, Yankee needs to take a page from Bath and Body Works book. Bath and Body Works, their labels and their presentation is always slick and professional looking, if not luxe looking. And so I'm not really sure why it is that Bath and Body Works is calling my bluff and taking a page from Yankee Candle and doing this clip art stuff. I do love the colored wax, and I don't mind a clear label or something that really allows the color of the wax to come through, but surely they can do better on this situation. That being said, could I imagine worse? Oh yes, I could. So I'll take it. All right, freshly brewed coffee. I think I'm going to keep this one. A lot of people are saying that this is Paris Cafe, but let me tell you something. When I smell Paris Cafe, like my head retracts back into my body. I'm sorry for all of you out there that love Paris Cafe, but I cannot stand it. I grimace every time I smell it. There is something so scalded and something so burnt about that particular fragrance. I love coffee, and man, that candle does not it does not serve me coffee. It serves me, I don't even know what it is. I think it serves me what like most people think Starbucks tastes like. I personally don't think Starbucks tastes that way, but that's what Paris Cafe smells like. This, when I smell it, actually, the burnt and scalded elements are not there. It is possibly the same note, and it has a real strength to it, and frankly, it's very linear. I don't know that they mixed it with anything else. They didn't even put scent notes on the bottom of this. And I don't know why they're concealing that from us. But frankly, there's not a whole lot to say about it, except that it is as authentic as possible, a strong note of caffeine and Java. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I kind of doubt that it's just straight up Paris Cafe, because I can tolerate it. And because when I smell it, I'm like, okay. It does smell a little bit sweet, as if like they've put some like simple syrup into their coffee, which I don't love. I'd love a little bit more of a roasted dimension to this. I could use some roast. I could use some hazelnut. I could see this going in a lot of different other ways while still keeping that strong coffee smell. So in that sense, I think it's a missed opportunity. But do I think that it's an improvement over Paris Cafe? Yeah, I do. I think I'll probably keep it. Okay, and then the last one here is one that everybody has been talking about, which is an older candle, Blueberry Pumpkin Patch. Apparently it's been in the vault for quite some time. It's a really beautiful blue denim wax too. I like that. Same lid as the one in the coffee. I don't remember this one from Bath & Body Works way back in the day. I don't know if I ever smelled it. I would probably not keep it, but I'm thinking about keeping it because it's just recommended so highly by many candle people that I really like, and it may be a nostalgic factor because when I smell it, whew. So it's a lot of spice, and it is a blueberry note. What's his name? Joshua from Touch the Fire Twice said that it was a blueberry and a blueberry Pop-Tart, and I think he nailed it. That is exactly what it is. But it's also mixed with so many spices, frankly, and possibly a pumpkin note. There is something roasted about this, and you wouldn't roast a blueberry. I guess you would toast a Pop-Tart. But this is like I would say the top notes are actually very roasted. And I think that roasted note is what we're going to associate with pumpkins. I don't know that it's a very strong pumpkin scent outside of that roasting. But like I said before, pumpkin is not going to be able, just the authentic botanical pumpkin note is not going to be able to compete with our synthetic Pop-Tart blueberry. There's just no way. But the roasted notes are there. And I have to say that the roasted notes are a little odd with the blueberry Pop-Tart. I'm not going to lie about that. Yes, it is a blueberry Pop-Tart that also invokes something fall-like. I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to keep this one, even for nostalgic reasons. God bless. God bless. I will be curious to see what people think about it who burn it, and especially the ones who really, really wanted to see it come back. I don't know that this is the candle for me if it in fact is everything that is remembered from of old. But I think that there are a lot of people who are probably going to really like it, who would really like a blueberry Pop-Tart candle, and also would like to have it in the fall for various different reasons. So God bless. I can't say that I'm very impressed. I mean, it's a lot of candles here, and I find it very underwhelming. Obviously, there are more that will be coming out later. We'll keep an eye on those. Salted Amber and Vetiver, I will definitely keep and be burning soon because I do think that it's more of a summer burn. This is a summer burn too. So if you wanted to get that one, you totally could. Is it better than like that turquoise candle, for instance, which I very much like? Not really. It's not brilliant, but it's good. It's a good summer candle. This one might be quite good, although I'm worried about the throw on it. That's what I've got for you guys. My initial thoughts. There are other fall candles that I know. The Spice Pumpkin and Patchouli, for sure, yes. Probably I will buy Coffee Whiskey. Pumpkin Bonfire better be coming back out because that's an absolute buy for me. And I'm curious to see what the new Halloween candles are going to be like as well. I'll see you guys in the next one.